Dear students, I'm really happy to meet all of you for yet another section, a session of English that is for classes 9 and 10. What we are going to discuss today concerns both the classes, that is class 9 as well as class 10. And the topic that we are going to discuss today is phrasal verbs. I repeat, phrasal verbs. Now look at these sentences which are written on the blackboard. Look at them very carefully, otherwise you may not understand them. I will phone you. I will phone you. Now, in this particular sentence, the word phone is used as a verb. I will phone you is used, the word phone is used as a verb. So in this sentence, we have just a verb, and of course, the subject is already there. But look at the second sentence. You'll find some difference in that. I will phone you back. So, in both the sentences, we have the verb phone, but in the second sentence, phone has another word, which is back. So, I will phone you back. What does this sentence mean? I will phone you again. Maybe the person must have called him, and after finishing the conversation, he says, okay, I will call you back, or I will phone you back. Now, in this sentence, you have a verb and an adverb, because the word back qualifies the verb phone. So, you have one verb as well as an adverb. Now, look at the third sentence. I will call you back. Again, there is the verb call and there is back. So, one verb and one preposition. I will call you back. It's the same as saying I'll phone you back. Now look at the third sentence. I will call back you. This sentence is wrong, but I will tell you why it is wrong after a few minutes. But for the time being, look at these two sentences. And here, verbs used with adverbs or prepositions like the one that we have here. I will phone you back. Verb is used with an adverb. I will call you back. The verb call again takes after another word, that is back. Now again, this one is an adverb here. So, when a verb takes a preposition or an adverb along with it, that is known as a phrasal verb. I repeat, when a verb takes a preposition or an adverb along with that, that particular construction is known as a phrasal verb. So generally, you will find phrasal verbs to come in pairs. They are always in pairs. Now look at this. I will call back you. This construction is wrong. I will call you back is right, but I will call back you is wrong. In the same manner, if you say, I will phone back you, this sentence is wrong again. So you have to split. You have to split the verb and then put the preposition or adverb after some time. The word has to be, the two words, the verb and the preposition has to be split. So when they are split, they will give you the meaning. You have to see the context. Now look at this one. Come. I've taken one simple verb, come. Come here. When I look at somebody and say come here, the meaning is understood. You are asked to come here. But when the verb come takes some adverbs along with it, they give you an entirely different meaning. For example, come down. Now if I say, he came down. So maybe he's on the first floor and he is coming down to the ground floor. So what I mean here is he came down. But look at this. Do not look down. If I write a sentence like this, do not look down on the poor. This gives you an entirely different meaning, which means do not criticize the poor. So looking down upon somebody is entirely a phrasal verb. If I say don't look down on the poor, it means don't criticize them, don't insult them, don't humiliate them. So you have to see the context and then understand the meaning of the verb. So he came down is not just the same as do not look down upon the poor. So when the verb takes an adverb, sometimes a preposition, it becomes a phrasal verb. So as I have written here, phrasal verbs have a different meaning altogether. For example, you see, come down, look down, come up. What is the meaning of come up? Now when I say the government is coming up with a new scheme to help the corona affected victims. Coming up. What is the meaning of coming up? It is going to introduce something. So when you watch some TV serials, you might watch this phrase or you might kind of come across this phrase, coming up next. So supposing the newscaster is giving the news and he says, we'll take a short break and coming up next is some more interesting news. So coming up means to appear again. Come up. Now that is a different meaning. So you are standing on the ground floor and if I look at you and say, now come up. So you have to come to the first floor. But coming up next gives you a totally different meaning. And when you say coming up next, the meaning changes. That means what we are going to have after some time is something different. Come by. See, this is come. The main verb is come. But by is a preposition. I came by this book in a mall. So what is the meaning of came by? I accidentally happened to see. So I came by my friend in a mall. I have not met my friend for many years or maybe for some months, but suddenly I happened to see him. So when I say I came by my friend, I came by my friend in a mall, what you mean to say is you happened to meet him accidentally. Came in. Look at this. Come in. When I look at a person and say come in, what I mean is I am allowing him an access. I am in the class and he's standing outside and I say, okay, why are you standing out? Come in. Now here the meaning is direct. But when I say the government came in for criticism, the government came in for criticism. Came in means it became the target of something. The government came in for criticism. It invited criticism. So one small preposition with one main verb can give you an entirely different meaning. And it may have several meanings. Now you see, come over. You have to come over this crisis. What is the meaning of come over? That means you have to overcome this. Somehow you have to find a solution for this. So, look at this one again. This example. He don't look down upon the poor. I've written the same thing there. But look down means, as I told you just a while ago, to criticize, to humiliate somebody. And this has an idiomatic expression. So when I say don't look down upon the poor, you must read the sentence carefully. So we can understand a phrasal verb only if you can understand the context of the sentence. We will discuss that in the later classes. But for time being, what you need to keep in mind is when a verb is used with an adverb or it becomes a particle. Adverb or a preposition with a verb is known as a particle. And when a verb is used with a particle, that becomes a phrasal verb. And a phrasal verb will definitely give you a different meaning. I'll give you some more examples. Let's say, turn. Now I can use the preposition on with this. I can also use the preposition off with this. What is the meaning of turn on? Turn on means switch on. What is the meaning of turn off? It means switch off. So one verb turn followed by a preposition becomes a phrasal verb. And phrasal verbs are used in the language of English to make certain sentences smaller. Phrasal verbs are used in sentences to make sentences not only smaller, but they give you a clear meaning. And you have to be very, very careful in identifying a phrasal verb. So a phrasal verb can be understood by the context. Now when I say, as I told you in the beginning, come down. Here I mean, I ask the person to come from the first floor to the ground floor or from a higher place to a lower place. Come down. But come down to the level of the students. When I use this sentence, come down to the level of the students, it means you have to adjust yourself according to the mindset of the children. So if you are teaching smaller class children, you have to come down to their level. Now come down here is a phrasal verb. And it means you are adjusting yourself according to the level of the students. So turn on, turn off, turn out. One word, turn. And you see how many sentences we can make. I mean phrasal verbs. Turn out. What is the meaning of turn out? Turn out means to come as a result. The project of the government turned out to be a failure. It turned out to be a failure. It became a failure. So turn out means become. And again, turn up. What is the meaning of turn up? To come. My friend promised to meet me. He promised to meet me. But he didn't turn up. He promised to meet me at the railway station or at the restaurant at 7 o'clock. I waited till 8 o'clock. He did not turn up. So what is the meaning of turn up? He didn't appear. He did not come. So turn with the preposition up gives you a meaning of appearing. Turn down. The same word, turn down. What is the meaning of turn down? It is not turning something down. It means refusing. For example, my friend was offered a wonderful job in a private company, but he turned down the offer. What is the meaning of turning down? He refused to accept the offer. So turn is the base verb or the main verb, and it takes different prepositions with it, and as the preposition changes, the meaning of the phrasal verb also gets changed. So this is what we have to study carefully. You have to read the context. There are several ways to identify a phrasal verb. There are several ways to use a phrasal verb in your topic books or in your daily conversation. We will discuss that in the later classes, but for time being, what you need to keep in mind is when a main verb is followed by a particular preposition or an adverb, it turns out to be a phrasal verb, not just an ordinary verb. And the second point that you need to remember is phrasal verbs have different meanings. And there are thousands and thousands of phrasal verbs. For example, I have taken only one main verb, come. And here I have taken only one main verb, turn. And you see, sometimes you take only the preposition. You see, I have written the preposition about. And a main verb gets attached to that. You see, faff about. You might not have heard or come across this word, this phrasal verb, faff about. What is the meaning of faff about? Wasting your time. Why are you faffing your time about? Why are you faffing about? Go and do some serious work. So faff about means wasting your time. Muck about. This is another expression. Why are you mucking about here? What is the meaning? Muck is the main verb. About is again a preposition. Why are you mucking about? Why are you wasting your time over here? Come on, get to work now. Then think about. Think is the main verb. About is the preposition. What are you thinking about? So think and about becomes a phrasal verb. Faff and about becomes a phrasal verb. Muck and about becomes a phrasal verb. Go and about. What are you going? Where are you going? Where are you going about? Don't be going about here and there. Sit down at a place. Don't go about here and there. Don't wander. So go is the main verb. About is a preposition. So remember, my dear students, one thing has to be kept in mind. To understand phrasal verbs easily, you have to understand one thing, and that is the main verb takes a preposition or an adverb. Then it becomes a phrasal verb. Now, phrasal verbs cannot be learnt on a single day. It's not an overnight job. For that, you must come across or you must study the different phrasal verbs. So there are certain methods to study them. In the next class, we will be discussing the methods. Till then, stay safe, keep in good health. Goodbye.